Let's try for one more. Overhead, striking the elbow towards the back of the room and drawing the shoulder down. Give it a push, then switch over to the other side. Push. What is up, athletes? My name is Toby Masberg, aka Coach T, and welcome to your 15-minute upper body focus. Mostly we're gonna be focusing on our shoulders, back, as well as chest. So basically everything from the hips up is gonna get a little love and attention. We'll be working with our cable crossover machine. For today's workout, make sure you have both of your handle attachments already ready to go. I do suggest you set yourself up for success right from the beginning by placing one of the anchor points all the way down to the bottom position, while the other anchor point is about shoulder height. Now, I will remind you of that when we get closer to each one of these exercises, but for now, this is a great opportunity to set yourself up for success. That being said, let's jump right into today's workout. So we're gonna start with our feet about hip distance apart. I want you to go ahead and interlace your fingers and start to roll out the wrists. Now you wanna go in one direction. Doesn't really matter which direction you go to, because guess what? We're going to reverse our direction. That's right, we're gonna go the opposite direction. Now you do want to make sure that your wrists are ready to go, because your wrists truly are a big link for the upper body. If we have any sort of limitation of movement here, it does hinder a lot of the work that we can do in today's workout. All right, so from here, let's take our fingertips, lightly place them on top of your shoulders, and I want you to start to elbow roll your shoulders forward, kind of get as much range of motion as you possibly can here. Take a couple breaths, that's a good idea as well, and then start to reverse that direction. So what we're doing here is really trying to find any kinks in the armor, any place that feels a little bit limited as far as your range of motion is concerned, because that limitation, as I said from before, will hinder us as far as getting progress. So if we try to get as much range of motion as possible, the better. From here, let's take these into arm circles. We're gonna take big arm circles towards the front, opening up not just the shoulder joint, but also opening up the chest here. Let's go for two more. Last one, and let's reverse that direction. Arms go back behind you. You should feel a beautiful warming up at the shoulder capsule here. Let's go for two more. Last one. All right, let's take the arms, crisscross them over top of your heart. Kind of, once again, activating the shoulders, but we're also activating the chest as well as the upper back. Let's go for two more. Last one. All right, let's position ourselves towards the back end of a mat. And if you don't have a mat, no worries. As long as you have a clear area, you should be good to go. You're simply going to forward fold to reach down for your toes. And I want you to walk it forward for me, coming to a high push-up plank position. So we're activating our stabilizer muscles here. Lifting the tail up high to the ceiling. Begin to walk your hands back towards your toes. Then stand up back to start position. Let's do that one more time. Reach down for the toes. Walk it forward, finding yourself back into that high push-up plank position, holding this position for just a breath or so, lifting the tail right back up high to the ceiling, and walking yourselves all the way back to our start position. Up we go. All right, we are nice and warm. Let's go and jump into today's workout. So today's workout, we have only 2 blocks of work to be working through. Each block, you're gonna see 2 different exercises, all right? We're gonna start with our first exercise, which is gonna bring us down into the half kneeling position. So we're gonna come into a low position here. I'm gonna be close towards my anchor point. Now, we're gonna go for overhead presses. We're gonna keep with a single arm. What does that look like? Good question. Looks a bit like this. I'm gonna grab onto the handle, positioning my body as close to the anchor point as possible, softening the elbow so that the elbow points straight down towards the floor. Opposite hand is on top of the hip. You're simply going to reach the hand up high to the ceiling and actively pull the handle back down to the start position. We're gonna go somewhere between 10 to 12 repetitions on one side, then we're gonna do the exact same thing on the opposite side. Now, the way we're gonna do that is by simply rotating ourselves so that we're now facing on the opposite side. But wait for that for when it comes. All right, second exercise. We're gonna start in a standing position. You're going to stagger the feet. So one foot goes slightly back, one foot is slightly forward. My arm is nice and long here, and we're gonna keep it into the neutral grip. Hinging slightly at the hips, we're simply going to row and reach. This is what's called your low row. We're gonna keep it with the single arm here as well, all right? So if you didn't get any of that, again, no worries. That's what I'm here for, to help guide you through. All right, adjust your weight according to need so you feel comfortable depressing the handle above the head for at least 10 to 12 repetitions. Grabbing onto the handle, elbows nice and tucked. We're gonna place it over the head in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Reach, then actively pull it back down. Now, as the handle goes up above the head, I'm looking to draw my shoulder down my back. So I want you to think, exhale as the handle comes up and inhale as we pull it right back down to that start position. Let's go for 2 more here. Last one. And recover. Let's do the exact same thing onto the other side. All we simply need to do, flip our body position, but once again, you should still be facing out away. So elbows are nice and tight, and here we go. Pressing above the head, bring it right back down low. Now, as I press above the head, once again, I'm looking to maintain a little bit of space between my earlobe and my shoulder. Also notice I'm gonna have the kneeling side closest towards the anchor point, which in turn is gonna start to activate my core. Naturally, as anything starts to go above your head, your midsection should become active. So this is a good opportunity to actually add in a little bit of core work here as well. Let's try for 1 more. Overhead, and let's release it. Let's jump into our second exercise. We're gonna come into our standing position. You can adjust weight according to need. Now again, we're looking anywhere between 12 to 10 repetitions here. I'm gonna stagger my feet and walk away from the anchor point. Stepping 1 foot back, hinging slightly at the hips. Let's do this. We row and we reach. You're driving the handle as close to the rib cage as you possibly can, striking the elbow towards the back of the room and drawing the shoulder down the back. I want you to actively feel the shoulder blade start to wrap around your spine, keeping your heart nice and upright. Let's go for 2 more. We'll go for 1 more, pull it in, and let's reset the dial. Same thing onto the other side, staggering the feet, grabbing onto the handle, keeping ourselves nice and upright. Let's do this. We pull and release. Now, if you notice here without breath, I'm making sure to give myself a chance to exhale on the most challenging section of the movement. So as I begin to breathe out, I'm striking my elbow straight back behind me, again, dropping the shoulder away from the ear. Let's try 2 more right here. Last one. Excellent work. All right, 1 down. Let's try to go through that again, shall we? We're gonna do 1 more set, same exercises. I adjusted my weight when I came into my row, so this time I'm gonna adjust it back to that overhead press. Grabbing onto my handle, I'm keeping it close in towards the heart, drawing the shoulder down the back. Let's go above the head, right here. Handle goes above the head. Now, although this is an overhead press, it does have an active motion on the return. So I want you to think, not only are you pressing the handle above the head, but you should also actively be pulling the elbow back down towards the rib cage. So I want you to feel your back start to react as you pull it straight down. Last 2. And that was my last one. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Make sure that we are nice and even. I'm gonna stagger the feet, drop 1 knee down, elbow nice and tight. Let's do this. Above the head it goes, right back home. Now notice the body position here. I'm gonna make sure to keep my shoulders so that they're located over top of my hips. And if you do wanna add in maybe just a small stretch here, because you know you can actually tuck the tail a little bit, feel a bit of a hip flexor stretch here as we're in this half kneeling position. Let's go for 2 more. Let's make this our last one. Big push and reset. Excellent work on your feet. Adjust the weight according to need, just to make sure that you can actually feel that work, moderate to challenging as we come into our row. Staggering the feet. The foot that is back behind should be the arm that holds on to the handle. And here we go. We pull and then we reach. Now the active motion here, you should be feeling the work right across the middle part of your back. The tendency here is to lift the shoulder as you start to row, but I want you to try to avoid against that, all right? Can you drop the shoulder 2 to 3 inches lower, really feeling the work happen where it's supposed to around the middle part of the back? Let's go for 2 more. Last one. Excellent work. Okay, let's switch over to the other side. And here we go, let's row. This particular angle really does actually remind me of when I was a kid. I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid, I actually had to do yard duty, right? So my dad would have me out there in the middle of the summer, spring, and fall, mowing the lawn. So this looks just like that old-fashioned lawnmower right here. I'm having like flashbacks back to my childhood. Hopefully you can join me in this whole reminiscent stage. Last one, let's make this row beautiful. And recover. So well done. All right, so we are finished with our first block of work. Let's jump directly into your second block. This one's gonna be really quick. We're gonna place the handle, our anchor point, so it's now at shoulder height. So you want both of them to be about shoulder height. You kind of notice here, making sure that both handles look identical to each other. You don't wanna have one a little higher than the other. All good, we're ready to go. We're going to adjust the weight according to need because we're gonna go into your front part of your body. We're gonna do alternating chest presses. Now, from here, we're gonna grab onto each one of the handles. You're gonna take a step forward. So 1 foot is forward, 1 foot is back behind. I'm gonna pick up my back heel just to make sure I don't overly stretch my Achilles. Fingertips should be facing down towards the floor. You're gonna alternate pressing, alternating between right side and left side. Now the arms are at a little bit of a 45-degree angle on that one, all right? Second exercise, we're simply gonna use only one handle. Once again, I'm gonna step away from my anchor point. I'm changing the angle of my actual row from what I saw from block 1. This row, my elbow will be in line with the shoulder and the shoulder will be down the back. So last time our focus was middle back. This time our focus is gonna be upper part of the back. All right? Only 2 rounds on this one, my friends, so let's go ahead and jump right into it, shall we? Grab onto each one of the handles. Take 1 giant step forward, walking away from the anchor point. Elbows are slightly tucked in. Let's go in 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Give it a push, then switch over to the other side. Push, and then switch. Now notice, because we are coming into that alternating side, we actually have to work a lot harder across our midsection to maintain the integrity of this work. Exhale, press, and push. You should begin to feel this right to the shoulders, the chest, as well as the triceps. So everything as far as our push muscles should be feeling this work. Let's go for 1 more on each arm and recover. Well done. Now I'm gonna keep my weight pretty much the same, but of course you can always adjust it according to need. Let's go into our second exercise. Grabbing onto the handle, stepping away to make sure there's a little bit of tension on top. I'm going to give myself a row, and then I reach right here. So once again, I'm looking for the elbow to be in line with the shoulder and the shoulder to drop away from the ear. My target zone, again, is the upper part of the back, also known as your traps. So really, this is the opposite direction from the chest press that we did from before, making sure that we're nice and even. And let's quickly switch over to the other side. And here we go. Give it a row and a reach. Now, ideally, you want to try to keep your shoulders beautifully square towards the front of the anchor point. The reason why here is because when we do this, we're actually doing something called anti-rotation, meaning that the load is trying to turn your body, but you are resisting against that. So we do, once again, sneak in a little bit of core here. Last one, and recover. Whew. All right, we have only 1 more round. Let's go right into it so that way we can be pretty much finished, all right? Grabbing onto our handle, I'm gonna switch my staggered leg. So last time I had my right foot forward, this time I'm gonna step my left foot forward. So I'm gonna step 1 foot forward. Actually, I'm gonna switch that around, my bad. And here we go. Alternating between right side and left side. Pressing it forward, drawing the shoulder down the back. Now, again, the tendency here is to almost lean into this. What I want you to do, try to keep your shoulders over top of the hips. feel that work become even more challenging here because now you have to activate the core way more than what we did if you were just leaning forward, right? Oh my goodness gracious. Let's fight for these last few repetitions. We have 4, we got 3. This is 2. Let's make this the last one, and well done. All right, let's go right back into that row, shall we? We grab onto the handle. We stagger it back. My arm that's set back, it should be the arm that's lengthened, and here we go. We row and reach. So as we come into this final round and this final exercise, these last few repetitions should feel like a bit of a struggle. We only had around 15 minutes to really kind of get in there, and should definitely feel like these last few should feel like a bit of a struggle. Last 2, final one. Well played. Switch the lead leg and let's row. Pull and reach. So good. Once again, can you maintain your shoulder in line with the elbow? Can you keep the wrists in line with the elbow as well? Remember how we warmed up those wrists? This is the reason as to why. Remember, any weak link, that is where we need to focus on. 2 more, last one, and boom, just like that, we have rocked it out. Well done, my friends. Quick cool down, I'm gonna let you go here. Go ahead and once again, interlace those fingers, start to roll out the wrists. So quick review of today's workout. We basically hit everything from the hips up. We got those back, different sections of the back. We got our shoulders, plus also we snuck in a little bit of chest work there as well. Take those arms, begin to give me big shoulder, or arms circles towards the front. And reverse that, arm circles towards the back. Take a generous inhale, reach those hands above the head. Exhale, let it go. Let's do that one more time. Now, if you have more time to do a little bit more of a stretch, I definitely encourage it, but for now, I gotta let you go, and I wanna say one more time, thank you so much for joining myself, Coach Toby Massenberg, for today's workout. 15 minutes upper body, we knocked that out of the park, my friends. We'll see you next time.